What's going on, preppers? It's Wildman again. Thought it was time that we did a little bit of field first aid. So today I'm going to show you guys how to apply a pressure dressing. Now, there's a lot of different names. Pressure dressing is kind of the umbrella for all of them, but this one is a cinch type dressing. It's the same premise as an Israeli bandage. What it allows you to do is get really good pressure and cinch that bandage down, and I'll show you guys how to apply it. Now this one I've already pulled out and staged. I'd recommend, if you're going to order these, order a couple extra. That way you can pull them out, play with them. I pre-staged it because you want to get to the bandage part first, not the rest of the wrap. Some of them will have them wrapped backwards, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I undo this one. But it's already staged, ready to go. Now I realize when you pull them out of the packaging, you're going to lose some of the little, it's not going to be as sterile. But when you're talking about a major bleed, I'm more concerned with stopping the bleeding than I am with the infection that comes after. Yes, infections are just as lethal, but you will die from blood loss. You may or may not die from an infection, and you can always get that person, hopefully, get them to a doctor and then get the proper medications. If not, it's always good to keep some kind of antibiotics in your prep gear, say you don't have access to good medical attention. So we're going to pull this out, we're going to get after it. This is used for major bleeds. You can also use it around the abdominal cavity. If somebody's got a big cut, they got guts coming out, you need to pack them back in there and keep this held in. This will allow you to do that. So let's get after it. What you can see here is I've just got it wrapped. It's got this little hook, and that's what makes these a pressure dressing. It's got that hook that allows you to get a little bit more tension on it, and I'll show you how we're going to do that today. So pop this free, and then the first part you get to, this is how I have it staged, is I call it a diaper because it's about the same material as a baby's diaper, and it's really good if you've got a small hole with a lot of blood. You can fold it up and that's super absorbent, or if you've got a major cut, you can open it up and get a pretty good wide patch there. So I'm going to do that wide patch just so you guys can see. Wrap it like this, bandage comes underneath, and the other advantage with having it pre-staged is I'm not dealing with all this tail coming off of it. I'm not dragging it through the dirt, dealing with all that. So there's a little piece of Velcro right here. I'm going to come up, Velcro that bandage to itself. Next thing is I'm going to come through the hook, and I just give it one twist right there at the hook so it'll pull back the other direction. On Israeli bandages, you don't have to do that because they've got kind of a flat hook in them, and the bandage will just lay flat. So twist it, wrap it through the hook. Now we're going to pull back against the hook and get it good and tight. So the next part that I want to wrap is I'm going to wrap these flaps here. So if I'm having to transport my casualty, this is not peeling back. We're not getting grit and grime and crap underneath there, and it's going to help keep pressure on that wound and keep the blood and everything locked in. So we're just going to go over the top part. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom and make sure it's all good and closed off. Alright, once we get to there's a little Velcro piece. Put that on, and it's locked in. Now if I'm going to transport somebody, I'll take a strip or two of electrical tape, athletic tape, duct tape, whatever I've got, wrap it around there just to make sure that this doesn't get peeled back off whenever we're transporting. You can see everything's good and enclosed there, and that's good and tight. It's not going anywhere. And what gives us an advantage is not only has it got something covering the wound to stop the bleeding, but it's also got pressure on it. That's why they call these a pressure bandage, because you can actually really cinch down, get some torque on it. Most trauma kits come with these. A lot of times they come with two. I keep one in my go bag. You see we pulled that one out. These are really good if you guys are going to be out in the woods hunting. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard of guys who've fallen out of deer stands, cut their leg open with an arrow, fell on their arrows, or they were skinning an elk and got cut by a rib bone down the arm. That kind of stuff happens. So this is great for major bleeds. It keeps pressure on it, especially if you're by yourself. Sometimes you can wrap a wound, but it's really hard to keep pressure. If it's a really bad bleed, you can use this in conjunction with a tourniquet. So it's just a really handy piece to have. There's some arguments for keeping them sanitary or not. Realistically, if it's a life or death situation, my major concern is getting the bleeding stopped right then, and we can deal with the after effects later on. If you guys got any questions, hit me up in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you got any suggestions, let me know, and I'll get some more videos coming out to you. Thanks. GoPro, stop recording.